Medicare and most insurance.
Call
Call 954-766-4672. That's 954-766-4672, located 2 miles south of Commercial on the west side of University Drive, just behind Hooters.
Every 28 seconds, a car in the U.S. is stolen. What's even more shocking is that 25% of those vehicles had the keys inside. 60% were left unlocked, and 95% had no anti-theft devices. In times like these, protect yourself from auto theft by taking extra precautions. Never leave your vehicle running or with the keys in the ignition. Always lock your doors and keep your windows closed, even when parked in front of your own home. When away, park in busy, well-lighted places and never leave valuables in plain view. Equip your car or truck with an alarm or other theft deterrent device. Never leave your vehicle registration in your car. If you do become a victim of auto theft, report it immediately. Have your make, model, license plate, and vehicle ID number available to help authorities recover your vehicle. To learn more about protecting yourself from auto theft, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Michael Strahan. I used to run over offensive lines and sack quarterbacks, so I know how important it is to be able to breathe well. But for the millions of people living with COPD, catching a breath is a real struggle. COPD, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is also known as chronic bronchitis or emphysema. Over time, it makes you feel like you're breathing through a straw. COPD is the fourth leading cause of death in the U.S. It kills one person every 4 minutes, and it took my uncle. An estimated 24 million Americans may be affected, but as many as half of them don't even know it. We have to beat the clock to spread the word about this serious disease. If you're 35 or older and have ever smoked, you might be at risk, but there are steps you can take to improve your symptoms. I'm Michael Strahan, and I drive for COPD. Join the movement at driveforcopd.com. Take our 5-question screener and talk to your doctor.
AM 1470 WNN is now the Health and Wealth Network, featuring more of the information you're looking for. Join us for the best health programs every day. Then, in late afternoons and evenings, tune in for more information for your financial success. Only on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's all-new Health and Wealth Network.
Free concert, Rockers in Recovery Memorial Day Weekend Concert, May 28th, 1:30 to 6:30 p.m., featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist of the NYC Hit Squad and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, along with Jason Sultan, bassist of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Mick Jagger and Celine Dion, along with 3 other great bands, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, Keep Coming Back Band, and Rhetoric. Come out and join us at the First Step Sober House Memorial Day Free Concert at 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. To find out more, go to rockersinrecovery.com or call 877-799-8773. Attention, the 4th annual 12-Step Music Fest is coming November 3rd through the 6th in Sugarloaf Key, Florida. 4 days of music and fun with 12 musical acts along with the Rockers in Recovery Supergroup featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Liberty DeVito, formerly of Billy Joel, Woody Geisman of the Del Fuegos, Jason Sultan of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Christine Ullman of the Saturday Night Live Band, and 4 more to be announced by September. Find out more about this sober Woodstock in Sugarloaf Key by joining rockersinrecovery.com or by calling 877-799-8773.
On the following sponsored program are strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. This is the Rockers in Recovery radio show, dedicated to news, interviews, events, and festivals taking place in the rock and roll industry and in the world of bands and musicians who support recovery. Find out more by going to holisticlifestylesradio.com or join Rockers in Recovery on Facebook. Now, the host of Rockers in Recovery, here's John Hollis.
Well, I picked up some bad habits,
and they kept me running hard. I went against my better judgment. I even turned my back on God. On the streets I met my demons, and they dragged me down the drain with another shot of something, just to get me past the pain.
Past the pain.
Yeah, the door.
You know, it's amazing when we start to talk about our physical bodies when we get sober. Because when I came in and literally had 3 teeth left, up top, and I had all of my bottoms, but not all of my bottoms, but a lot of them were broken off the gum line, and there was major toxins that had invaded my body. I had walked in, being in recovery, here I was about a year into my recovery, and my mouth was totally destroyed. And again, those toxins and all of those things that were taking place in my body, here I am trying to get clean and trying to get sober. At the same time, you can't do all of those things if you're not taking care of your physical body. So I contacted a gentleman that was referred to me. His name was Dr. Gertzen, and I went over to Dr. Gertzen, and Dr. Gertzen took a look at my mouth and said, "We need to do a lot of work on you." And he went to work, and he did some amazing things with me, but most importantly, he, enabled me to be able to start taking control of, my physical sense. And my teeth, I didn't realize, were so important, because here's some things, okay? As you start to deal with your teeth and you start to deal with your oral health is the first contact in most cases for anything that's going into your bloodstream. Is that correct, Dr. Gertzen?
Absolutely. And it's, we consider any kind of periodontal disease as a chronic infection and open wound in your body, which can refer to phototoxic reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic infection and chronic inflammation can lead to heart disease, can lead to diabetes, stroke, and of course, main reason of chronic infection and the fight with chronic infection is prevention of heart attack.
Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you a question. I mean, here you get somebody that's literally like myself. When I got sober and I got clean and I started to change things in my life, but that physical aspect of my teeth, until they got repaired, until they got what I needed as far as my oral health was concerned, I was still stagnant. I was my self-esteem was in the toilet. All of those things, but physically I was doing harm to my body, even though I wasn't using anymore. Is that correct?
Absolutely, because it's not only appearance, which is very important to anybody for self-confidence and appearance. Mm-hmm. Appearance is very important, but also toxicity and lack of energy. Mm-hmm. What happens if you have chronic infection, not so good teeth, you're losing energy literally. You're still tired. At the end of the day, you have chronic pain in different areas of your body. You have sometimes unexplained headaches, spontaneous pain in the joints, because it's a strong and straight correlation between chronic infection in the mouth and the health of your joints. So people who having arthritis benefit from treatment of gum disease. Right now, our office in whole area pioneering in new test. It's a DNA test for gum disease.
Wow.
And it's easy, very easy, very inexpensive test. It's a cellular test. So you're coming to our office, giving a little bit of saliva, and in a few days we have results on a genetic level, what kind of bugs you have and what this bacteria will be sensitive to and how to get rid of it. So it's extremely important and interesting test.
Well, and again, one of the reasons I wanted to bring Dr. Raton on tonight for my listeners is, again, one of the most important things was for me to physically start doing some things that were going to make me get healthier. If I'm walking around and I have teeth broken off the gum line, if I'm walking around and I have open holes in my gum lines and all of these things, and the toxins are building up and it's going through my system, sooner or later the pain's going to show up from all of that stuff. And if I'm not dealing with those physical aspects, it could lead to relapse. So I have to work it as a whole, mind, body, and spirit. At the same time, I want to also bring this into something else. And I've had John Giordano on from G&G Holistic Addiction Treatment Program. We just did the live conference from down at the conference in Miami, and we talked about something. Rockers in Recovery was there, and we talked about something that was very interesting to me. And it was the fact that mercury fillings, of course, is a heavy metal, and a heavy metal that has been known to have side effects like mental health issues. So if by having mercury fillings, you can actually have side effects from the mercury that actually show up like mental health issues. Is that correct, Doc?
Absolutely. What is mercury? Mercury is a very interesting metal which can exist in liquid form. In old times, Mercury was a planet. Mercury in old Rome was the name of God, which was responsible for aggressiveness and wars. So people who have mercury toxicity can have extra aggressiveness, extra because of toxicity of mercury. They can have not only aggressiveness physically, but they cannot hold their emotions. They sometimes feeling sluggish and irritated because of mercury. And MS, it's multiple sclerosis, is definitely related to mercury toxicity.
Wow.
So debate about mercury fillings are so extensive right now in every place in the world. But again, our patients are falling victims of political games.
When somebody comes to you, Doc, and they have mercury fillings, are you capable of being able to remove them, or how does that work?
Of course, but we are not removing mercury fillings because of presence of the mercury or mercury toxicity. We're removing fillings because they are not adequate. They are not protecting teeth.
Okay.
There's the problem.
Okay.
So it's statistically proven 30% of teeth after having mercury filling done in them, having possibility of developing root canals in 30%. When we have porcelain restorations, it's less than 1%. Also, when mercury oxidizing inside the tooth, it's expanding and breaking tooth, and it can leach into surrounding tissue and organ.
See, and this is important. I mean, if you're listening tonight and you understand the fact that what we have in our bodies and the toxins and the heavy metals that we have in our body helps us to react certain ways. We're going to react certain ways, and we're going to show up differently as those levels get higher. And that's why lead poisoning and mercury poisoning and all of the rest of the things that we've known over hundreds of years. I mean, if you go back to the Romans were pumping water in lead pipes, and everybody was losing their mind and they were going crazy, right, Doc?
Absolutely, because lead is the next into periodic table of elements. So mercury and lead can toxify body pretty heavily. So we don't need extra toxicity because everything goes through the liver, and liver getting overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it jumps through blood and brain barrier.
Doctor,
that's real danger.
What are some of the things that somebody could start to do while they're, of course, making an appointment? And by the way, what is the website that they can go to check out your website? First of all,
it's fldentalspa.com.
fldentalspa.com. And what is the phone number they can reach you at? And you're there Monday through Thursday, correct?
They can reach us anytime during the week or at nighttime, but regular working hours Mondays through Thursday from 9 to 6:30. So the number is 954-941-7778.
One more time for him, because I know I need a pencil and I'll have to write it down. So what's one more time?
954-941-7778. Our office is unique because we have not only holistic approach to dentistry, but we have unique German technology which can restore tooth from nothing to normal in one visit, one appointment, with one shot, a little bit more than an hour, and we're restoring tooth with special porcelain, which by chemical and physical properties, very, very close to human enamel.
Wow. So if there was somebody out there right now that is going through some of the symptoms that I've talked about from my own personal symptoms, and by the way, Dr. Gerson replaced my teeth, and I got to tell you that it was the happiest day of my life that I actually have teeth in my mouth, and it was many years, and my self-esteem turned around, and I can go places today, and I don't have to cover up, or I don't have to hide, and I don't have to feel embarrassed. All of those things are gone today. They're out of my lifestyle today. But here's the thing, Doc. If somebody is going through, where they have toxic levels and they have all of those things, and they know they have mercury fillings, what are some of the things that they can do to help start getting some of those toxins and heavy metals out of their bodies?
First, it's total detox. Second, you can analyze presence of mercury in the blood by certain tests.
Okay.
Also, it's very important to show up in a dental office which will respect, which will definitely respect your desire to become clean and get detoxified from heavy metals.
Mm-hmm.
Not all offices do that because, again, American Dental Association, in conjunction with all these insurance companies, still being proponent of placing mercury fillings in human mouth.
Well, it's because it's cheaper too, right?
Right. And at the same time, they're forcing dentists to position special filtration machine between dental office and sewage. So they think we cannot toxify environment. We cannot poison environment with mercury. So when we're removing mercury from human mouth, we have to filtrate that water which is going from the dental office to sewage. But at the same time, dentists are welcome to place mercury fillings in human mouth.
Mm-hmm. Scary, isn't it?
What can we do?
Well, here's what I'd like you to do, Doc. Is Again, Doc was supposed to be scheduled to come on yesterday at 3 o'clock, and I apologize. We had a conflict in the time, and I wanted to get him on tonight, but I definitely want to have a show coming up here within the next week, and we'll schedule it with Dr. Gerson where we can go through everything that needs to be talked about as far as oral care is concerned. Because, again, I didn't realize it until I got clean and got sober just how important it was to me. You just take those things for granted. And then, when the pain shows up, you go deal with it. But something, if you're not dealing with it in a healthier way, you end up getting sometimes worse situations than when you began with your oral care. So we're going to have Dr. Gertzen back. And Dr. Gertzen, I thank you so much for being on the show tonight, and I'll call you through the week, and we'll set up another time, and we'll meet, and come on up here, and we'll do our thing, okay?
Great, John. And it's time for you to visit us for a regular prophylactic appointment. So we need to check what's going on with your teeth. Again, don't delay. Give us a call, and number is the same, 954-941-7778. We would like to see anybody who has a strong desire to clean their body, because decay, periodontal disease, anything what's going on in the mouth, considered infectious disease.
Dr. Gertzen, you're the bomb. I'll make my appointment this week. I promise.
Great.
All right, Ben.
Great.
We'll talk soon.
Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, guys. Hey, listen. Of course, Dr. Gertzen, and we are Rockers in Recovery. We are on a Sunday night mission. This is our second hour. We're going to go out to a break, and we're waiting for Laura Betts. Laura Betts, I bet she'll be here soon, because we're going to be talking about hyperbaric therapy. We'll be back right after the message. I bet you we will.
The things I did to just not feel the pain, like drinking myself slowly down the drain.
Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
In the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com, read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience, Canatelli Builders. 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
My name is Robert Gluck. I am a practicing trial lawyer and have been specializing in helping people who have been injured in all types of accidents for the past 20 years. I handle cases throughout the state of Florida. Recently, the legislature in Tallahassee has changed certain laws, and insurance companies are now taking advantage of those changes, resulting in much lower offers on personal injury cases across the board. It is now necessary to file a lawsuit to get a fair settlement on these cases. Before you settle your case for less than what it's worth, let me review it over the phone or in person with you for free. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. Call now for your free consultation at 954-583-8999. That's 954-583-8999.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about qualifications and experience.
Hey, this is John Hollis with Rockers in Recovery. We want to thank our sponsor for tonight's show, Hyperbarics RX. You can reach them at hyperbaricsrx.com, or you can reach them at 877-589-9998. Thank you.
Silence calms the mind and rejuvenates the body. God Pillow has been inspiring daily devotions for over 11 years. God Pillows are custom made with love and intention. We encourage you to become part of our community. Come visit God Pillow on the World Wide Web at godpillow.com.
All right, we're back. And it's a beautiful Sunday night, and the guys behind the glass just have one hell of a sense of humor. They always have one hell of a sense of humor. We love our guys behind the glass. We have a new guy named Blake. He's replacing Chris. So we have to make sure that he's as nuts as everybody else, so that way, of course, he fits in. It's a beautiful thing. Blake, you will be as crazy as everybody. Just give us 3 months with you.
I'll try.
Nice. Good man. Good man.
He'll never be as crazy as me.
No. See, we got to have Chris. Chris will be showing up at the concert now, so you're enabling Chris to come to the concert by you having a job here. You know, that means that, like, he'll be down the Keys with us.
I can finally go to the Keys trip?
You can finally go to the Keys with us.
It's 2 years now that I've missed out on that.
You might actually have to go to Boston with me, too.
I would love to go to Boston with you.
For the Del Fuegos.
Ah, that would be sick.
Listen, you know, I got, you know, I'm looking at my, next, 6 months, and, you know, if you think I have no hair now, just wait. You know, I'm going to be off the chain. Laura Betts taking bets if I'm actually going to be able to do it all. We got Laura Betts, who's my guest for the next half an hour or so. Could be actually up until 10. Because you know something, Laura's really nice to have around. Yeah. I got to tell you. And I was the guy that got her radio virginity.
Popping the cherry.
So having Laura on the air with me is always fun. And, of course, Laura owns a hyperbaric therapy company, and she sells hyperbaric chambers. And she is like the guru of hyperbarics. Like, here's the deal, folks. When you're out there and you get somebody on the phone that says, you know, buy a chamber from me, and then you start to ask technical questions, and they say, yeah, that can do that. Yeah, it can do that. Yeah, it can do that. Before you sign anything, you might want to call Laura just to make sure. Because what usually happens is you get a big yes, it does all of that, and then in the end, it doesn't do any of that, and she has to be the bearer of bad news because she's the one that's usually installing them all.
Right. I got a great story on that.
Go ahead, sure.
Family has a 6-year-old autistic child. They were not able to get them to wear the oxygen mask, so their feeling was they couldn't get them to work with this system, so they were taking them to a clinic, and they said, you know, we're back and forth on a plane. This is not really working for us, because there really aren't a lot of hyperbaric centers that will treat children with autism in the first place, which is why they kind of seek this out. So, I mean, wonderful people. Somebody sold them an oxygen room, which is basically a big steel box that seals. Yeah,
didn't they make a movie about this?
It's an oxygen closet, and it's not an inexpensive piece of equipment, and they have the protocol from their physician. And now I am the bearer of bad news that has to inform them that you're not going to be able to get this unit up to 10 psi. I doubt you can even get it past 1 psi, and I'm not even sure it's safe under those circumstances. The people that built it have a piece of carpeting in the bottom, and without getting into the whole hyperbaric protocol, static electricity and nylon carpeting is probably one of the least oxygen-compatible materials out there.
Listen, I know nothing about it, and I know better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just horrible. And, the sad part about it is my suggestion would have been don't buy anything. Find a place that will do an adaptation and acclimation. Let's see if we can get your child with autism adapted to the therapy first before we go spending ridiculous amounts of money. And, what's the right protocol? There are answers here, and unfortunately everybody's so quick on the buy this, buy that, do this, do that. And, once you've made an investment in his family, they built this oxygen room. They're going to find somebody that's going to sell them stuff for it.
I think I'm really scared that most people don't understand that, that they have an option of being able to, go to a place that has the equipment there. It's kind of, they think that they have to run out and buy something.
Right.
let them try something for a short amount of time to see if it's working. Yep. And then at that point, if you're going to put $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 out there, that's the time to do it.
Right.
One of the, and let's go over to specifics here, okay? Oxygen therapy helps with.
Okay. It does for basic things. It reduces swelling while simultaneously increasing circulation. It kills anaerobic bacteria. It naturally boosts the immune system. It physically increases the activity level of the leukocytes. Secondary benefit of that, by the way, is detoxification. And the last and one of the most important things is it does this fancy term called neovascularization, basically the growth of new blood vessels. Body needs oxygen to heal. A lot of reasons why things don't heal is because the body doesn't have enough oxygen or can't get oxygen there. And you don't need to know a lot about hyperbaric oxygen therapy to think about those things. Everyone can use a boost to their immune system. Lots of people need lots of healing in lots of places, and a little bit of help is always a good thing, especially when you're talking about getting your life back or recovering, or, there's once you kind of using the recovery aspect, once you start to get a glimpse of the vision, now whether it's walking again or getting your life back or no longer using, whatever that goal is, once you get a piece of it, you want it.
Absolutely.
And hyperbarics is a real viable medical way to help that along a little further.
Now, when you start to look at the swollen issue,
sure,
and, let's say you have a swollen part of your body, let's say your knee.
Okay.
And let's say when your knee is swollen, you could actually use the chamber to be able to reduce that and to heal that a little bit quicker?
The swelling itself, and the fancy term for this is edema, their oxygen itself is a vasoconstrictor, meaning it shrinks the blood vessels. The pressure of the chamber itself as well also reduces the swelling, and it does this in a very non-invasive, highly effective way. So an athlete who has a repetitive stress injury can go in the chamber, and the combination of the pressure and the oxygen, as well as the healing benefit and some of the other physiology that's going along with it. So it's pretty fantastic there. And there's a lot of different ways to apply this. The same reason why a persistent wound that has swelling and all sorts of just nastiness associated with it, the hyperbarics is physically bringing down that swelling. And interestingly enough, whether the swelling is in the knee or the swelling is in the brain, hyperbarics does that pretty well. And, for example, intracranial abscess, hyperbarics is one of the only and best therapies for it.
Right, and that brings a great point because, listen, anybody that's in recovery, especially opiate recovery, that is coming through the door that has abscesses and open wounds, and this is a way to be able to heal that Now, let's take this a step further. You have somebody that comes in and they have an open wound, like an abscess up and down their arms, and it's maybe turned into a staph infection or something like that. Can it help with that also?
It really can. Hyperbarics kills anaerobic bacteria, meaning that certain types of bacteria physically cannot live in an elevated oxygen environment. And one of the reasons why that bacteria is thriving in the first place is because there is a depletion in the tissues of oxygen. I'm speaking very general in physiology, so for those of you that are physicians that are listening, I'm keeping it real general. I'll give you the details later, I promise. But essentially it's creating an environment. So you get a destruction of the bacteria. You get a boost to the immune system. The white blood cells physically become more active. And then you get this enhanced growth of new blood vessels, this enhanced healing. One of the reasons why it's reached a point that it has, think about, the train coming down the tracks. And you got the train, and it's got the different cargoes, and the cargoes are your oxygen. And the train can't get there because the blood vessels are damaged or the blood vessels are compromised. And in some of these situations, it's a capillary deficient area to begin with, meaning there's not a lot of blood vessels there. The brain is a good example of that. There's not a lot of blood vessels in the brain to begin with, very sensitive to lack of oxygenation. And when you have any kind of oxygen deprivation, it's so severe. So, it's fantastic. And, wound healing, of all of the things that you could talk about hyperbarics for, healing wounds is one of the most accepted applications for it. Every hospital in America either has a wound care facility or wants one. It is, and sadly enough, all of these other conditions that it's good for, and there's about 200 of them that are clinically established. One of the reasons why it's so difficult to get therapy for them is because the facilities are doing wound care, and they don't have room for anybody else on their wound care schedule. It's an insurance reimbursable condition, and that's it. So that's where some of these other alternatives, and either going to a facility that treats conditions other than wound care, or maybe even reaching a point where you have your own system. You know, there's so many options there, but that's one of the reasons why people talk about those other options and may need to seek them out.
Laura Betts, hyperbaricsrx.com. You want to check out our website. Most importantly, you want to listen to the rest of this show, because we're going to be talking and bringing in different aspects of not only what Laura can help you with, but most importantly, making decisions before you jump into something that you don't know what you're jumping into. So let's hang tight. We're going to go out to a break. When we come back, more Laura Betts, because we bet she'll be here. Hey, this is John Hollis with Rockers in Recovery. We want to thank our sponsor for tonight's show, Hyperbarics RX. You can reach them at hyperbaricsrx.com, or you can reach them at 877-589-9998. Thank you.
My name is Charles Beckert. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident due to the negligence of another, care enough to hire Beckert & Associates to protect your rights. We are an AV-rated law firm and have 45 years of combined experience. We are all former prosecutors and have all worked for the insurance companies, so we know what they're up to. They have their attorneys, and so should you. When involved in an accident, remember, you may be entitled to $10,000 in medical or lost wages under your PIP policy. In addition, you may receive payments for your pain, suffering, or for the suffering of a loved one. Contact us at 954-941-8363 or visit us on the web at southfloridaattorney.com.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience.
My name is John Hollis, and of course I'm with Holistic Lifestyles Radio, and we want to talk about Crossroads of Antigua, helping people take the first step towards change. Do you know somebody struggling with addiction to alcohol, prescription medication, or other drugs? Crossroads Center of Antigua provides comprehensive detoxification, treatment, and continuing care services within a holistic body, mind, and spirit approach to recovery. Founded by Mr. Clapton, Eric Clapton, Crossroads Center is recognized as one of the top 10 international programs for addiction services. Crossroads provides quality, affordable care for individuals and their families. Call now for a free confidential assessment and speak with one of course, their admission counselors. Give them a call at 877-318-8834 or check out the website at crossroadsantigua.org. And remember, recovery is possible and is often life-saving.
Free concert, Rockers in Recovery Memorial Day Weekend Concert, May 28th, 1:30 to 6:30 p.m., featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist of the NYC Hit Squad and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, along with Kason Sultan, bassist of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Mick Jagger and Celine Dion, along with 3 other great bands, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, Keep Coming Back Band, and Rhetoric. Come out and join us at the First Step Sober House Memorial Day Free Concert at 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. To find out more, go to rockersinrecovery.com or call 877-799-8773.
In the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com, read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience. Canatelli Builders, 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
I'm back. I'm here. It's me. It's John Hollis of Rockers in Recovery, and we're with Laura Betts. And, of course, we were just talking about some things at the break that were just incredible. I actually went and had a cigarette afterward. It was amazing. So here's the good news, folks. The good news is that if you're in recovery tonight, we're talking about some health issues, and we're talking about, of course, we started out this hour talking about how when I got sober, I came out from underneath of a bridge, so I didn't have a lot of health concerns at that present point in my life. I was concerned about ways and means of getting more. When I got clean, I decided that after about a year of, really working on the recovery aspect and the spiritual aspect, I looked in the mirror and half my teeth were gone and, it was just bad. It was in bad shape. And if you're out there now and you're in that particular shape, you know that I know that, that self-esteem level and all of those things start to occur in your life. So what happens is, you start to deal with these health issues as you start to move forward in your recovery. I talked to Dr. Gertzen. Dr. Gertzen did my full mouth, and he was just on with me. And, when I went through that process, there were heavy metals involved. See, there were heavy metals and toxins and all types of things because of my teeth and the damage that I had done and the drugs that I ingested. And I'm just going to go over a couple little things real quick so people understand and are aware of this. When you get that, whatever it is, may it be a bag of dope, of heroin, or you get a bag of cocaine, we need to look at the refinery process of this, okay? Most times cocaine is refined with one of them being kerosene, and it's usually refined in a lead pot. So now you not only have the kerosene and all of the heavy metals that are in the kerosene, you also have it being refined in a lead pot that is made of what? Lead. Lead. They don't call it a lead pot because it's made out of tin. It's made out of lead. Now you have all of those toxins in you. Now, if you were somebody that was out there and you were smoking, let's say crack cocaine, for an example, or any other type of smokable drug, and you're smoking it through a screen, understand that when you were smoking through that screen, the screen might have been made out of copper. The screen might have been made out of, tin, silver, whatever it is. You're now sucking that into your lungs and it's going right into your bloodstream. So those heavy metals are now in your system. The same thing with mercury, the same thing with lead, the same thing with copper. Too much of it can make you nuts. Now, what happens is we come into the rooms, we start to sober up, and we start to clean up, and we start to show signs of maybe mental health issues. Maybe somebody starts saying, well, you look like you're a little bipolar, you got this or you got that. When we really need to start looking at what is going on with us in our biochemical makeup. What's happening with us with a series of events of taking all of these different substances, putting them into our bodies along with the drugs that we were doing, now is all built up in our system. So we're here a year, 2 years, 3 years, and the next thing you know, we're a little nuts. Jumping down people's throats, we're getting a little angry, everything's a little crazy. What are some of the things that we can do to start detoxing that? Well, Dr. Gertzen and John Giordano and other folks that have been on the show have all talked about that. There are hair analysis that we can do. There are blood work we can do. We can find out what toxins need to be, brought out of us, what heavy metal levels we have in us, what needs to be removed, how it can be removed, how we can detox that. But here's the amazing part. As you're going through that healing process, oxygen therapy actually helps the process along, because as all of those toxins are coming out, the body needs to heal itself, And that's what oxygen therapy does. It starts to heal as you're removing those toxins and those heavy metals, correct?
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that aspect of it.
One of the things that it does specifically, when you're stimulating the white blood cells, there are scrubbers. A fancy term is our leukocytes. So in addition to this immune system boost, somebody coming out of any illness, whether it's recovering from addiction, which is really an illness, or whether you're recovering from some other type of chronic condition, fibromyalgia, other types of issues.
Heart disease.
Pick one, any one. You could even use cancer therapy as an example. When you're recovering, you're compromised to begin with. So the natural boost to the immune system is going to help you gain some of that normalcy back. But the secondary benefit of that is it's actually helping to eliminate the toxins from your body quicker. So using the example of the person who, was actually reached the point where they're smoking crack cocaine. Okay, the buildup of the toxins in the body, once we've dealt with the initial detox, okay, now we're over the serious issue, it's actually going to help to get those toxins out of the body quicker, and it's going to help the body to heal faster. Somebody who started smoking cocaine, they probably started smoking it because they couldn't sniff it anymore. And the reason why they couldn't sniff it anymore is because they totally burned out all their mucosa. By incorporating hyperbaric therapy into their recovery regimen, it's actually going to help rebuild that mucosa faster. And if you want to talk about the psychological feeling to use, if your nose is sitting there bothering you, that's going to be a psychological trigger. So the faster that starts to heal, the better. And, the toxins themselves, they've had effects on the body. One of the other things that you mentioned John Giordano, and his research came back and showed what I'm about to talk about. And this is consistent with research that's been out of Russia for over 20 years now with regard to addiction recovery. Outside of the United States, hyperbarics for addiction recovery and detoxification is almost commonplace. And one of the things that the hyperbarics is also doing as a secondary benefit is it's helping to regulate brain chemistry, and it's actually reestablishing some of the linkages, rebalancing some of the brain chemistry. And that can also make a huge difference in recovery.
Serotonin, dopamine, huge. And it actually, hyperbarics, one of the secondary benefits at the appropriate dosages, it is clinically documented to regulate serotonin and dopamine. This is one of the reasons why you're starting to see it in research for post-traumatic stress disorder. This is where you're seeing it for your ADD, ADHD. This is one of the reasons why conditions that were thought to be exclusively behavioral, now when they're starting to regard them as a brain injury, incorporate hyperbarics with it, you're getting this kind of double link. It's pretty neat. You bring up a valid point, because if I'm out there and I'm, getting high for 32 years, I've done some brain damage.
Without question. If you've ever passed out, technically you've done some damage. If you've ever been hit in the head and did not get appropriate treatment, who knows what the result of those injuries were. Did you ever get in a car accident? Did you ever take a serious fall? These are things that people who have come to recovery probably experience some or all, a little from column A, a little from column B. So, and one of the things, and we've seen this, and using some existing research that's out there, people with head injuries are much more likely to use to begin with, and there's a lot of research that supports that. And it's continually being shared with me, and it comes across in different conditions. We've seen this with our soldiers coming back, and a variety of other applications. So there's some interesting things that are going on there. So why not treat the brain injury? Why overlook a huge aspect of it? And if the idea is to be successful, then taking a multi-phase approach and incorporating hyperbarics into it is really fantastic. And G&G was one of the first facilities I worked with here in the U.S. that incorporated hyperbarics into their recovery program. And I speak with clients regularly that are sharing with me how well it's been working for them.
There's up a couple of cases. I know for myself, I've always had an issue with being in a closed area. Probably from jail. into a tank,
mm-hmm.
and if you're claustrophobic, is it going to be an issue? I mean, is it something that you can work somebody through? And because there's somebody out there right now saying, I'm not climbing into that thing.
And you know what? With hyperbarics, claustrophobia, there's about 10 possible contraindications for pressurization. You know, there aren't lists of pages upon pages of side effects, and claustrophobia happens to be one of them. I have never had a scenario where I was not able to have the person overcome their claustrophobia. If there is a true desire to heal, if there is a true desire to treat, then this is something that we can, and sometimes it's within a session or two. It can be managed, and there are certain things that make it easier than others. There are certain techniques that make it easier than others. You know, as a real example, if I have somebody who's coming in and they're going to be looking at a system for the first time and they're considering whether it be treating, whether it be putting it in their facility, whether it be putting it in their home, I make sure that system is fully inflated so they can see just how roomy it is, and they don't get the deflated, you know, talking about a soft chamber as an example. You know, little techniques like that, different ways to get in, making sure the flow rate is there, making sure the mask is there. Acclimation to pressurization is a real thing, but with a little knowledge, experience, and desire, it can happen.
You know, Chris, behind glass, I got to tell you, bro, that whenever Laura comes in and she starts to talk, when she starts to talk like, you know, oxygen therapy, you know, she starts to talk about the soft chambers and the hard chambers, and she starts to talk about this. I don't know what it is, dude, but my brain goes right to overload, man. It's an ugly situation. I mean, I don't know what the deal is. But I got to tell you,
it's a beautiful situation from where I'm looking at it.
Oh, my God.
All right, now everybody friend me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and you can see a picture of me.
There you go, guys. Laura Betts on Facebook.
Laura Betts on Facebook. And also Hyperbaric RX, right?
Yes, Hyperbarics RX is on Facebook, and I actually have my own Facebook. It's Laura H. Betts, and I regularly post updates and articles and stuff like that.
Trust me when I tell you that she looks like the school scientist in that picture. It does no justice, folks. I'm telling you. Now, I will tell you this, all right, because we're going to have to go to our next break. But before we go to our next break, you already got one. I'm your main stalker.
I love it.
So here you go. We got the Memorial Day weekend free concert, May 28th, 2011, 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ricky Berg, guitarist, singer-songwriter of New York City Hit Squad, and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Kazim Sultan, bass player, singer-songwriter of Todd Rundgren, Utopia, Mick Jagger, and Celine Dion. We'll be there, of course, with a full band behind them. And stay tuned because we're working on some other artists to be named for that little supergroup putting together. And also we have scheduled to play is Keep Coming Back, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, and Rhetoric. And by the way, folks, Thrown Alive just called me. They will be here also. So Thrown Alive, throw them into the mix. They're a great band. And, of course, Roger and Joe, we love them big time. So we're looking forward to having those guys come out from Tampa. And check it out. This show is being sponsored by, of course, the Hyperbarics RX. And it's also being sponsored by G&G Holistic. And it's also being sponsored by, of course, the First Step Sober House and Sound Pillow. And these guys make all of my live broadcasts, and every time I sit in front of a mic, and Ed Canatelli from Canatelli Builders, all of these folks working all together keep us at 18 hours a week and having free concerts for people that are new and recovering and just coming in, or you've been around for a while and you're bored. You know, boredom and addiction don't work too well together. So listen, folks, come hang out with us May 28th, 2011, 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the First Step Sober House, 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach, Florida. Chris D., who is supposed to be in at 9 o'clock, which I know will never make it because he's up somewhere playing softball.
Didn't the draft, or I know the draft happened, but we have another block now, so there's no NFL this season. He's got no excuses.
Well, listen, here's the deal. He's playing softball somewhere.
Him is softball.
We'll get into softballs, and Chris won't even go there. See,
donuts?
Yeah, no donuts, no softballs, and Chris. Okay, if you're listening, Chris, and you're up there in Winter Haven, I hope right now you're like 3 under right now. I hope that, it's 3-0, and you guys are running around trying to make it up. Because you know something, you should be sitting right here in Boca Raton, Chris. But we won't go into that now. We'll be back right after this message.
Well, I picked up some bad habits, and they kept me running hard. I went against my better judgment. I even turned my back on God. On the streets I met my demons, and they dragged me down the drain with another shot of something, just to get me past the pain. Yeah, the door is always open when the devil needs a fix. So you burn another 50 you ain't got.
The preceding program is a Rockers in Recovery radio production. Rights to this program are the sole rights of Rockers in Recovery Radio Incorporated. Rebroadcast of this program in any form without express written consent is prohibited. Thank you for listening to the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Show. This program is sponsored by Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. Join us every day right here on AM 1470 WNN. You can also find us on our Twitter podcast, Facebook, and blogtalkradio.com. For more information about the show and our sponsors, be sure to visit our website, holisticlifestylesradio.com. That's holisticlifestylesradio.com. All broadcast rights to this program are the property of Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. Rebroadcast of any portion of this program without express written consent is prohibited. The opinions expressed on this sponsored program are strictly those of hostess and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, staff, management, or sponsors. Are you ready to explode your business? Then you are ready to take advantage of the massive marketing power of the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Advertise your business, product, or service with one of the most powerful multimedia platforms on the planet. With more than 300,000 online listeners, 30 social media outlets, and a booming 15 hours of live programming on South Florida's 50,000-watt mega giant, AM 1470 WNN. Your business will be exposed to hundreds of thousands of active, progressive consumers hungry for your products and services. You'll be featured on blogs, live streams, social media, at live events, and on hundreds of archived podcasts, including Rockers in Recovery, the East Coast music scene, Defending Your Money, and dozens more. Plus, prime-time national exposure during major festivals from Las Vegas to Boston and the Florida Keys. Get ready to take your business to the next level and jumpstart your branding strategy. Advertise your events, products, and services on the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Call now for special discounted packages, 877-799-8773. That's 877-799-8773. Or visit holisticlifestylesradio.com.
Every 28 seconds, a car in the U.S. is stolen. What's even more shocking is that 25% of those vehicles had the keys inside. 60% were left unlocked, and 95% had no anti-theft devices. In times like these, protect yourself from auto theft by taking extra precautions. Never leave your vehicle running or with the keys in the ignition. Always lock your doors and keep your windows closed, even when parked in front of your own home. When away, park in busy, well-lighted places and never leave valuables in plain view. Equip your car or truck with an alarm or other theft deterrent device. Never leave your vehicle registration in your car. If you do become a victim of auto theft, report it immediately. Have your make, model, license plate, and vehicle ID number available to help authorities recover your vehicle. To learn more about protecting yourself from auto theft, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network. AM 7 WWNN, Pompano Beach.
AM 1470, with even more of what you're looking for. It's South Florida's most interactive forum for news, politics, and cutting-edge issues. Don't miss The Credit Report with Bill Lewis, Monday through Friday mornings at 9 a.m., only on AM 1470 WNN.
Good day, Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources. May 3rd, 2011. Gold opened this morning at $1,545. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1584.06, $792.03 for a half ounce, or $396.02 for the quarter ounce. That's $1584.06, $792.03, and $396.02.
The Constitution and the Bill of Rights have been reduced to old relics politicians ignore or trample with their outlandish, overreaching policies. Your support for the Campaign for Liberty stands in the way of this insidious process. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I have teamed up with the Campaign for Liberty to offer the authentic proof quarter-ounce pure gold coin. For only $440 plus shipping, Midas will donate $100 to this incredible organization. Help fight big government by ordering your gold coin at 800-686-2237. You get to win twice by owning gold and fighting an overreaching government. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
AM 1470, with even more information you can use. Join pharmacist and educator Jerry Hickey for the Invite Health Radio Show at a new time, Monday through Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Tune in for the latest information on nutrition and cutting-edge solutions to your most pressing health problems. It's the Invite Health Radio Show with pharmacist and educator Jerry Hickey at a new time, Monday through Friday mornings at 10 a.m. right here on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's all-new Health and Wealth Network.
Welcoming back to the Steve Kane Show an old sponsor and old friend, Dr. Murray Beller, who for 6 years was part of the pain management team at Midway Medical. Today, Dr. Beller operates Belfort Doctors Center, along with Alicia Cholito, MD, and massage therapist Carrie Border, the best in the business. They offer chiropractic care, non-invasive acupuncture, electrotherapy, and ultrasound. If you've had a sports or auto injury, if you have circulatory problems, tension or migraine, headaches, high blood pressure issues, call Dr. Murray Beller at Belfort Doctors Center, where they take Medicare and most insurance. Call 954-766-4672. That's 954-766-4672, located 2 miles south of Commercial on the west side of University Drive, just behind Hooters.
AM 1470 WNN is now the Health and Wealth Network, featuring more of the information you're looking for. Join us for the best health programs every day. Then, in late afternoons and evenings, tune in for more information for your financial success. Only on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's all-new Health and Wealth Network.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.